Yeah, it's awkward. Thanks for asking. Alright guys, this is a 1968 dune buggy. I have never taken out a Volkswagen motor before. Obviously this should be a lot easier because it does not have a body on it. It's some backwoods thing that came with a motor. I just purchased it. So yeah, this should be pretty easy. It's got a belly pan on it, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the belly pan off so that I can actually support the motor. But zero experience. Well, I mean, I'm pretty good automotive, but I don't have a lot of experience with these Beetles, so this is a first for me. And number two is I don't have a lot of tools here. I'm just in my personal shop, which is fairly equipped, but, you know, not as equipped as I would like. So really, this should go fairly easy, I'm hoping, because there's no body in the way. There's nothing really to be in my way. We'll see, because everybody online says it's super easy. So, you know, in a perfect world, I'd have a hoist. I'd have everything here easily accessible for me, but I don't. So we're just going to use one floor jack. That's pretty much it. One floor jack and 17 mil to get the bolts out of the motor and the transmission. Separate that, then wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Hopefully it just pops out, and then let's see. Quickly, I will fire this car up, move it forwards and backwards so that you guys know everything is connected and it works, so I can at least prove that. So I'll just do that quick now. Seat's not really connected. Backwards. Oh, that's forward, sorry. Anyways, you see it? It stinks, the door's not open. So anyways, you see that it's all working, connected. Now we're going to take it apart. So first things first, I got to cut this belly pan off. It's pretty half-ass welded on there, so I'm going to jack this up and just sawzall it off. That way I'm not making a lot of sparks. So yeah, I'll do that now. Just somewhere underneath there. Is it solid enough? Like right to the thing. Just gonna cut underneath the motor off. That way I can get the jack underneath the motor, because right now I can't. That'll work. Letting that down. There. So now it's a little bit dark. Boom. So now I should be able to take this motor only has 3 bolts holding it on, should be 4, but they're all 17s and they're all through the transmission into the back side of the motor. Pretty easy to get at, but I will show you them because the body's not on this car. It's actually a lot easier to explain this stuff, right? Okay. So we're on the back side of the motor right now. This is the transmission, that's the motor. There's a bolt right there, right at the end of my finger. There's one just right about here, just up behind that lever. Pretty hard for me to maneuver in there. Right there. And then there's one on the other side, which is going to be a nut right there. So the bottom one on this side is not in, which is kind of nice in this instance, but I mean, undo those 3 bolts, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I've got the clutch, fuel line, throttle line, any other wires I guess I can disassemble. I just wanted to note that for future use, like when I go to put this back together, there's a ground running off of this to the starter, and then off of this guy here to the generator. I believe it's a generator, not an alternator on this right now. Then, like I said before, this one wire to make this car run, it's a positive wire running back goes to the it goes to the choke, goes to the coil, and it goes to the bottom of the carburetor. And that's all this car runs off of. So I can start disconnecting it, I guess. Yeah. Clutch, fuel, throttle line, and the rest of these little wires. I can take the seat out. There. Oh, it's not a good throttle cable. Okay. But that's my throttle cable. I'm gonna get a bolt. I'm gonna get a bolt for the end of the fuel line. That way when I disconnect the fuel, I can just jam the bolt in it. And because this tank does have a little bit in it, for me trying to run it, I should probably get a rag, but there is no shut off on this tank. It's like from the 50s. Would be nicer to separate it right here, but then I have put my finger over it, put the bolt in, spilled some, bolt fits good, and then I'm going to tighten the gear wrap or gear, whatever you want to call it, around the bolt so that it doesn't leak around the bolt. The motor can come out, so the 3 remaining 17s on the motor, well, the fuel leaks here because I can't get that tank out right now. I'm thinking the moment the motor's out, I'll cut these. It's dripping in once every little bit here, so once the motor's out, I'll cut these, fold that down, take the tank out, because then I don't have to cut both of these. That's much smaller. So I'll just do this quick so that the house doesn't reek of fuel. Alright, that one broke right free. I'm going to put the jack underneath the motor. It's right on the sump plate. The piece where there's 6 bolts coming out. Just going to support it off the sump plate. Alright, so there's a 17 over here. Right there. And it's my last one. Okay, the motor's actually pulling away as I loosen this. I don't want to break anything. So I'm just going to quickly disconnect all the electrical stuff. So, battery is disconnected. That's dealt with. I've only got one wire here, which is a ground. And it runs from the starter to this, I don't know what you called, regulator maybe? I'm clueless. I'm learning. Fucking UPS. Okay, that's disconnected, and I cut my power wire that goes to the choke and the coil and all that stuff, so it's disconnected from the car. But most likely when this motor's out, I'm going to reattach that homemade harness just so I can kind of at least make sure it's gonna, I know it'll run. So everything's disconnected as far as I can see. Clutch is good. I've just got to pull the motor apart. You know what I mean? Like if I keep undoing that one bolt, I just picked the tripod up. If I keep undoing that one bolt, it's separating as I'm undoing it. So really it's just 3 bolts and this thing's already separating. So I'll let you guys watch. I don't know. Let's do this side. Is it a 15 or 17? It's a 17. I'm going to keep undoing it, I guess, and try to support the motor, because as I undo it, the motor's already wanting to separate. Just a little bit of weight on it. Hopefully that's going to hold it. I don't want to, if it falls backwards. So everything's separating pretty nicely by the looks of it. Oh, that nut just came right off. There's no bolt in that hole. Everything should be disconnected. It should just be wiggle and pop it out. It wants to come out. I'm just nervous. So we're just about there. It's already unbolted. Everything's good. It might be this one. No, that's right out. So I have to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There's no other ones that are a stud. This one here is a stud. It's almost out, but I might be able just to pull it back. Yep. So it's out of the case now. So now it should just be wiggle it and bring it back. It looked like it had a bit of awkward, well, it still does look like it's leaning back. It wants to come out, it's just not quite there. Are you supposed to be a little rough with it, or? I feel like we're getting somewhere, but nowhere in a hurry. Oh. That's wild. It's wanting to turn. I gotta reposition the jack because it moved.
Thank God it's not like the heaviest motor in the world.
I think she wants to come out. She's moving. It's coming, it's just slow. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. A little bit more. Nope. Yeah, it's awkward. Thanks for asking. Is there something I'm missing? I don't think so. There it is. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Okay. Back it up. Back it up. Got my fuel line here. I want to bring it down. I got this bucket in the way. Oh, oh, oh. Handle got stuck. Motor's out. Woo! That's huge. Now, how do I support this fucking thing? My next question, because it just wants to topple. Might need some chunks of I was kind of balancing. Alright, so she's out. I think it only took me about 20 minutes, but it was only 3 bolts in this case, no body. So, and I spilled a bunch of fuel. So that's great. Better open the garage door and clean this up. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. There's not a man that I fear. There's nobody here that can stop me. Cause I'm in a league of my own, yeah. Y'all can just sit back and watch me. They know who I am, they can't imitate. Don't stay in your lane, I'ma set it straight. I'm building my way to the top. You get in my way, you know that I'ma renovate. You know I'm about to lock it. I'm the monster they was looking for, just like the Loch Ness. They think they gon' knock me off the throne, they better stop it. They can never reach me where I'm at, I'm in a rocket cockpit. In other words, you can't touch me. It's like I got the ball and it's rugby. And you won't see me when I'm coming through. You can't stop me, I'm running through. I'm untouchable, yeah. 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 Feed, fight, foe from. I'm the giant that they running from. Taking shots, I think they jumped the gun. If they go against me, then they done. You cannot handle this. I don't think you can pay for the damages. I don't want it's gonna be a first place. You gon' need first aid. Think you need bandages. You know I'm about to lock it.